What's going on, housemates? I hope you're doing well wherever you're watching this video from. I never start videos like this, but I gotta say, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Really looking forward to growing this community on YouTube beyond Instagram. And as I've said, I've really started to go hard on TikTok as well. So make sure you follow me on there. But of course, today I'm going to be discussing our North London derby tomorrow. First, a couple things I want to discuss. Starting with Gabriel Jesus, it's been confirmed by Arsenal that he's torn his ACL in his left knee. And it's so sad, man, because obviously, that means we're not going to see him till 2026. But specifically for Gabriel Jesus, this is a player who just hasn't been able to catch a break since he joined us. Those first 6 months were magical, and then he did his knee at the World Cup. Never really was the same player since, and now for him to do his ACL on his knee, it's just more of the same for him, and he just had no luck, and I feel so bad for him, man. And so obviously we can't rely on him for a long time now. And then, we desperately need to sign someone this month. There's no other way to put it, man. Saka's still out for a number of months. I still don't even know if it's wise to play him again this season. At most, it should be in like April. We can't be rushing him back after a hamstring injury. Ethan Nwaneri is so young. We can't be giving him too many minutes, considering that he's already shown, he's prone to an injury given how young he is. And yeah, we are already down to our last limbs in our front line. So we really need to get active this month. And on that note, big news coming out that we are almost certain to sign Martin Zubimendi from Real Sociedad in the summer. We will be activating his release clause of 60 million euros, and it's a huge deal. It shows, I think a big thing is that it shows that regardless of whether this is a blip season or not, we're still one of the most attractive projects in Europe. And he could have chosen from a number of massive clubs, including Liverpool, who are suddenly the best team in Europe. And so it shows the pull that Mikel Arteta has. It shows how promising this project still is, no matter how much people like to, get on our backs and banter us. So it's beautiful news, especially as well with Jorginho and Partey both looking set to leave this summer. We need to strengthen in midfield. I just can't help but feel frustrated that this has come out during a month where we've been so quiet and inactive in terms of signing players this month. And I can't help but feel like it's a bit of a slap in the face. I don't at all mean to take away from the signing because it is such an exciting signing. I just think the timing is really unfortunate given how much fans are crying out for an attacker this month. And all we're hearing about is next summer. And it almost sends a message of, giving up on this season or forgetting about this season and just getting ready for the next one already. I know that the club isn't intentionally doing that, but you have to see it from the fans' perspective. And ultimately, that doesn't matter too much, obviously, but that's just my gut feeling. I'm super excited about the signing. I just think that I would have been more over the moon had this, come out even in March or April, right? Not in the middle of a transfer window where we are moving so slowly and it's just looking hard. It's hard to imagine us doing anything. But of course, now with Gabriel Jesus out through an ACL injury, it has to be said, Mikel Arteta did come out and say that they are considering and looking for attacking, strengthening our attack this month. Whether it happens or not is a different story. We'll have to keep an eye out for that. But, our hand is being forced at this point. So anyways, enough about that. On to tomorrow's game. I won't talk about it too much. But my starting 11 for the game is basically the same as the Newcastle and United games. I've gone with David Raya goal, Jurrien Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Miles Lewis-Skelly at the back, a midfield of Thomas Partey, Declan Rice, and Martin Odegaard, and a front three of Gabriel Martinelli, Kai Havertz, and Raheem Sterling. Kai Havertz is going to be so desperate to score, having missed a few absolute sitters in the last two games. And Raheem Sterling looked sharp when he came on against United as well, especially with Leandro Trossard looking pretty, flat. He hasn't been very influential for a little while now. So I think that having barely played recently. I think Raheem Sterling did enough to justify starting. Will he? I don't think he will. I think Leandro Trossard is going to start, but I would like to see Sterling start. Has to be said, Jed Spence, I think, is an underrated defender, and I think whoever plays on the right is going to have a hard time going up against him. If you remember well, I think it was Nottingham. Yeah, it was Nottingham Forest. Gabriel Martinelli got shut down by Jed Spence when he was playing at right wing back in the FA Cup. And, that was a couple years ago now, but I think Jed Spence he's looking strong for Tottenham, especially playing on his weak side, at left back. So it's not going to be an easy game. Kulusevski's on fire. He's been in brilliant form this season. Brennan Johnson is going to be a problem as well. They have a number of solid players, it has to be said. But I think our back four, back five with David Raya is incredibly strong. I think with Partey and Rice both back in midfield, we should have control of the game. I'm just wary of the fact that we've lost two in a row, both of which are at home, and tomorrow as well being at home. Depending on who you ask, you could say that this game is coming at the perfect time for us to, get a huge win to really inject some desperately needed morale back into both the squad and the fan base. Some others might say that this is coming at the worst time because when we slip up or when we hit a bad run of form, it tends to come in threes. So tomorrow would be the third game of that poor run of form. But we haven't lost at home to Spurs in ages. So I just don't foresee that happening. But of course, we can't afford a draw. We need to win. And we drew at home last season with Spurs. I hate to remind us, but it was that Jorginho mistake that cost us directly after we took the lead. So we have to really hope that we can take advantage or, take care of business this time around. I don't expect Ainge to, set Tottenham up too differently. They will be looking to attack. Hopefully that suits us because, it's been very obvious this season that we struggle against low blocks a lot of the time, and it's often when teams actually press up and play forward that we tend to look our most dangerous when there is space in behind for us to exploit. It'll very much favor Gabriel Martinelli, especially. So, yeah, I feel okay about the game. Obviously, we've scored one goal from our last 49 shots, so I am nervous about our inability to finish off chances and, that coming back to haunt us because it's clearly becoming a running theme in our season. Well, it is a running theme in our season. We're already halfway through the season. So, yeah, we will pay if we don't finish our chances. And, Spurs are one of the most unpredictable teams, right? Their form has been so strange. They drew to Liverpool. Drew to Wolves at home. They beat Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, and then they couldn't beat a National League side in the FA Cup through 90 minutes, and it took an own goal to open the scoring in that game. So you just never know with Spurs, but it's a North London derby. It's a derby in general, so form sort of goes out the window when it comes to that. We won 1-0 at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, of course, back in 2024 this season. Wasn't the prettiest of games. We won thanks to a corner kick. Set piece FC added again. Gabriel with a monstrous header. And I would gladly welcome more of the same tomorrow. I don't care how we win. Just get the 3 points. So, yeah, not too much in it really, but to get it, but to do it, but to win and keep our Premier League hopes alive. And hopefully, soon after, we hear some noise in the transfer window to give us some hope about our season still having some legs in it and, not a message being sent by the club that we're already just kind of looking to next season and saying whatever happens this season, it is what it is. We can't really do anything about it. We can't be getting that kind of message this far into this Arteta project. So that's it for me for tonight. I hope that we are all celebrating tomorrow, of course, a big North London derby win against Tottenham, and I will be with you shortly after to give you my thoughts on the game. So wherever you're watching tomorrow, whether it's at home, at the stadium, at a pub, at your friend's house, wherever, bring the energy. And as always, come on, you Gunners. Peace.